Hello friends, welcome back to Scrapbook Your Legacy. I missed you all last week. I told you in my last video I wasn't going to have a video last week because I was actually away on vacation with my family. I am now back and preparing that trip album. I went to Colorado with them, also into Wyoming for the weekend. So today, the purpose of this video is to just update you and talk to you about how I prepare to scrapbook a travel album, scrapbook a trip, and then what that album mapping looks like. So anyway, what I would like to start with first is to let you know that Creative Memories released a new product on Monday called Berry Harvest Collection. I think it goes great with the summer collection they have this year. It also goes well with 4th of July. And if you like to picnic or can make your own jam, go berry picking with your kids or just with the family, whatever. It is a great little collection. It's very cute. It's worth it to go and take a look at it. Even if you don't buy the whole collection, maybe the papers might work well for you and could be used in little, like in birthday layouts. I don't know that I'm going to buy the collection. I have not tried canning or jamming, and I'm not sure. I may consider the papers. Also this week, and I'm not sure for how long, but if you go on to the Creative Memories website, you'll see this punch here, which I will be using when I do this album, as well as a lemon punch, are 50% off. These are normally like $29. This punch right now is $14.50. That is a great price for a border punch like this. So, and I would promote this one because the leafy vine border punch is something that can be used for so many things. I do not buy all the punches, even with my discount, because I'm not going to use all the punches, and I try to only purchase what I know I'm going to use multiple times. I don't like product just sitting there. But this one I feel like is a must-have. So for $14.50, it's a great product. So go on over and snag that. And lemons, hey, why not lemonade? That one's a little less because those are the single punches are less than these, and I did not check that price, but that's 50% off also. All right, so going forward, in one of my videos I talked about unique things to do in travel albums and using postcards, stickers. So on the trip this past week, I did pick up some stickers. This one says Rocky Mountain National Park and has a similar design to the Colorado state flag. And this one also I thought was beautiful with the wildflowers looking out over the mountains of Rocky National Park. These are great for embellishments or just for a title, an option for a title on a scrapbook page. So I did get those. I talked about unique postcards. These are patterned, or actually probably the postcard size of a lot of the posters that they do for the national parks that are beautiful. So I picked up a few of these. I don't know if I'll use all of them, if I might frame some, couple, one. Anyway, I thought these were beautiful. So I did pick up some of those. And they're not expensive, so they're just great mementos of a trip. I also talked about getting postcards of places either that you can't get to in the parks or where you just can't get the picture quite like a professional. So I did pick up a couple of scenic ones. This one is Bear Lake, which is a very popular spot in Rocky Mountain National Park because it has a paved path around it. This one is Dream Lake, which I have not been to yet. That's at 9,900 feet, so that would be quite a climb. But anyway, pretty postcards of things that I didn't get to see. As a matter of fact, we had an interesting trip. We had a whole plan, and then I kind of left it open for the boys. I had certain things I wanted to do, and then I left a lot of space for the boys to fill in with what they wanted to do. And I say boys, and my boys are 28 and 24. But I wanted them to pick things that they wanted to do. One's a city slicker, one's more like me, likes to be out in the woods and in the countryside. So, and also, you may know that entering the parks changed during COVID, and some parks it's still different post-COVID. So for Rocky Mountain National Park, you have to have a timed entry. We did that 2 years ago, and so we knew to do that this year. But when we got in there, our plan was to go to 2 of the lakes in the Bear Lake Moraine area. Well, you had to have a time entry for the lakes. So we did not. We had to pivot. I was a little upset, but I got over it. We went to an area of the park that we had never been to before and hiked up to a waterfall. And, you know, sometimes those things can be disappointing, but then you end up discovering other areas. And you know what? You can't go wrong in the national parks, even if you have to pivot on your hikes. You cannot go wrong. It is still beautiful to see the parks. We also were staying in Boulder, Colorado, or just outside Boulder in Broomfield. So I got some really unique posters of downtown Boulder, another title option. Here's a scene of some of the hiking trails in Boulder. It looks like a watercolor. So I thought these would be fun to use. We spent time on Pearl Street in Boulder. It's really old buildings and a lot of nice shopping, and it's all bricked in, and it's like a plaza, and it's beautiful. It goes on for several blocks. We hiked the Flatirons as our warm-up. So this is a picture of, it's actually like a watercolor of the Flatirons with the wildflowers, and we saw some wildflowers there. Isn't that beautiful? So I just thought that that would be really pretty on the scrapbook page. So I got that. We also spent time down in Denver because I have a city slicker, and so he took us to places that we would not have ever gone to unless he had been with us. And he and my both of my sons like coffee, so does my husband, but one of my sons really likes to find bougier, as we say, coffee shops, and so he found them. And so I had great tea, they had great coffee, we all had really great pastries. So yeah, it was fun. But we spent some time in downtown Denver. I'll be scrapbooking all of this. We went to Union Station, which is pictured here. This is now a really cool hotel. A scene that I don't think we saw this area of Denver, and obviously this is an older picture, but we did go to the Arts District, which I think is the Rhino District, and which is famous for its graffiti. So I actually have a whole layout that's going to be graffiti. Who knew? On a trip to the parks. Our trip started in Wyoming. So believe it or not, on the way up to Wyoming, there's a Buc-ee's. Apparently Buc-ee's is a big deal. Apparently, if you know, you know. I don't know, but I do now know. So I am now one of those, if you know, you know. I have been to Buc-ee's. It was overwhelming, but we took a lot of pictures of at Buc-ee's. I've never seen a gas station or convenience store quite that large. So it was an experience. Anyway, here's a picture of Wyoming. I thought it was a beautiful picture. I was trying to take a lot of pictures from the car. I don't know how they're going to turn out. We did go to Fort Casper. So as I scrapbook this trip with you, I will be telling the stories. In Casper, we learned a lot about the trails. The Oregon Trail, there was a trail that went to California. I can't remember the name of, but I'm sure I'll find it out. And the Mormon Trail. All very interesting stories. And it just, we have such pampered lives right now. Obviously, not everybody has a pampered life, but in comparison to what they went through with emigrating and moving westward, is that it's very pampered. I could not get over the size of the wagons. So anyway, here's a sticker that can be a title. Postcards from the National Historic Trails Interpretive Center. If you ever go out to Wyoming, even to Jackson Hole, Casper is only 3 hours from Jackson Hole. Take the time to take the drive and go see the fort and the Interpretive Trail Center. It's very interesting. Map of the park. I don't know if that will make it into the album. Anyway, those are some of the things that I'm thinking about to go into the album. I am not ready to start scrapbooking it yet since we just got back Friday night, and I've been trying to catch up on other things. So today I just wanted to show you how I prep that and kind of where I'm going. So next week I hope to be at least sharing the title page, and then we'll just go from there. Anyway, as I've shared in other videos, I do my travel albums a little differently. I tend to like to use 8x10s if I have pictures worthy of an 8x10. The other thing I'm going to incorporate for this album, my dear friend gave me this grid. And I'll tell you, a grid is great for a travel album. So I will be incorporating this in more than one layout to try to get as many pictures on as I can. And I'm going to try to really go through the photos. I haven't even loaded them up to my computer yet. I will be sending my 8x10s out to Persnickety. That's where I go. But you know, there's Snapfish, there's another one. I can't think of the name right now. Creative Memories does that. You can go to CVS, Walgreens, Sam's. Go where you go to get your photos printed. I print from home most things now, especially as I'm trying to be more current. My current photos, I print from home. So anyway, I'm going to be using this grid. So I'll be showing you how I'm going to use that. And some tools that I will be using, I'm going to pull in these punches. Now I did go on to Creative Memories to see what's available. This punch is available. This is the one that punches out the trees and then it leaves a hole, and you can do, you know, the border would look like this. Set of trees, set of trees, set of trees, so on and so forth. So this is available. It is not on sale. They do not have any mountain punches right now, and they don't have the tree border punch, but they have this tree punch. So if you want trees, you can do that. So those are some of the larger punches, as well as the Leafy Vine, which I told you is 50% off right now. So seriously, $14.50. That is a steal for a really great punch. I will be pulling in some leaves and flowers. I did check. This is the only flower punch left, the Mandevilla flower punch. Oh, there is one other. It looks like a daisy. I'm sorry that I was incorrect on that. So there are two flower punches. I do not have the daisy punch, but it's similar to these, but it just looks more like a daisy. So I have these. I'll be incorporating these for the botanical gardens because I love botanical gardens. So we went. And then I have leaf punches. So there's this one. These are not available anymore, but I'll tell you this. There is the Monstera punch. This is still available. I will probably use this on the botanical gardens layout, and I'm going to probably cut it apart, because then if you cut it apart, you have multiple little leaves to put into embellishments. I think I've shown you how to do that before, or at least I've shown where I've done that on a layout. So that is those items. I do also, so, you know, I want to encourage you, use what you have in your stash. Use what you have, stickers, embellishments, like just start pulling those things out and using them up. I do have some dies and stamps. My stamps are titles. I don't buy stamps of a lot of other things. I have titles or little sayings. So I am going to incorporate those. And I do have a few. Again, I will only buy what I know I'm going to use multiple times. I don't want something that I'm going to use for one layout a year. I do have one like birthday gift punch. It's a border punch. They came out with another one, so there is that one out there as part of the Border Maker cartridge system. But I'm not going to buy more of those. I only use them once in a great while, and I can cut those apart and use them in different ways. Anyway, these are the dies I have. I have a lot of embellishment kind of dies because we do run out of our embellishments, but buy multiples from Creative Memories or wherever you buy from. So I will be incorporating these. These are just a few of the things. I don't know that I'll use all of them. I might only use my punches. So yes, these are some of the trees that I have, and we didn't spend a ton of time in the parks. I mean, we were there, we did hiking for 2 days. So it's going to be a lot of how do I scrapbook graffiti pages. That will be a journey we'll be doing together. And then this is still available. This punch, the tab punch is great for our peekaboo pockets, to create a tab so someone knows that the peekaboo pocket is there. So I will be using that. Sorry, I can't, I got a cold while I was on vacation, and it's kind of trying to linger. It's much better than it was. And I still hiked and did all that because I'm not gonna not go. And then I did not check on this. I don't think that this tag punch is still available, but you can make them by hand, and I will think about how to demo that for you. All right, so those are ideas for, those are just some of the tools that I'm thinking about using for pulling the scrapbook together. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was album mapping. There's a couple of Creative Memories advisors. One is my upline, Lauren Hines. Another one is Nicole So. I watch the two of them mostly. I don't watch a lot, but I will say album mapping is so helpful for figuring out how many pages you need to buy, how many packs of pages you need, and then it also helps you think through how many pages are going to be in the album. I use top loading, but both sets, the top loading pages and the white pages, come as a 16 pack, which is 32 pages front and back. All right. So Lauren Hines has done, she's my upline. She's done some videos on how she album maps, and she has a system that you can purchase. I use something similar, but I use graph paper. So this is just an example. This is from 2006. So I just drew squares to represent pages. You can see here I had 4 pages, or 2 double page layouts for hiking. I end up combining them. So I can write in dates for things, and it just helps me think about, what this album is going to look like, and can I do it in one album. So normally I draw these squares. So that's just kind of an idea, and I just try to figure out how am I going to lay it out like that. So you could do something like that. Get yourself some inexpensive graph paper and do squares. You can use notebook paper and just number the lines to represent your pages, and just kind of do like a rough outline. But before I show you what I'm going to do this time, I have a little notebook that I take on trips. I am not like a travel journal person. I just like to write down each day what I did. So, we were only out there for 1 week, but we did a lot. So, like, I'll have my title page, and then there's the flight out. Buc-ee's might be a layout. So what I was thinking about for this, because I want to know how many pages I'm gonna have. So hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so from here to here is 8 squares, right? And there are 16 pages per pack. So if I go over one more like this, and I'm not going to bore you by doing the whole album, but I'll show you what I ended up doing on my next video. I'm sorry if this is shaking the camera. All right, so 8 and 8, all right, 16. Then we can do another block of 16 here and another block of 16 here, because you can fit 3 packs of pages per album. In theory, I think it depends on how many peekaboo pockets you do, how much of the foam squares you use affects the pages and the thickness. But, all right, if each square represents a page, and there's 16 to a pack, I actually thought this time I might split it in half. All right, so this would be page 1. All right, this will be my title page, which there will be a family picture here. This page 2 and 3 will be the flight. And it could also include Buc-ee's. It could include a picture of our rental car. My husband spoiled us this time. We had a luxury SUV that, believe it or not, had massaging front seats. I mean, seriously, it was a great trip. So anyway, this might be how I do it to fit as much as possible. So this is just, you know, an idea. This is what I'm thinking about. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but I know I will have an album map that I'm going to be working on, and then I'll just show it to you in the next video. But anyway, that kind of gives you an idea right here. The title, the flight, I did take pictures on the plane. And then this might also include the car. These 2 pages might include the drive to Wyoming as well as Buc-ee's, because I did take pictures at Buc-ee's. I mean, why not? So I might be doing it that way. And then I can't remember if I have a picture of the hotel there, but the next 2 pages would be the fort, because we did go to the fort. So we have Fort Casper. All right, and that would be 6 and 7, and then 8 and 9. So if you remember, I'm cutting pages. I'm taking this down to 16 pages on this side, 16 on this side, to be equal to 32 double-sided pages. Each square, again, represents a page, and there's 16 in a pack. So I'm breaking it down into 32. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So we'll do the fort, and then we'll do the trail center. And our reason for going to Wyoming, even though we did so much in Wyoming in 2 days, but we went to a wedding. So we drove 3 hours from Casper to right outside Jackson Hole for a wedding, and then 3 hours back. We're crazy, but we did it. And then the next day we went to Cheyenne, because one of my sons loves trains, and so we went to the Union Pacific yard in Cheyenne. Cheyenne, an incredible city. We learned a lot while we were out there. It's great when you go to these museums and these places to ask a lot of questions. There's a lot of history out there for our country that is just really unique and fascinating to hear from these historians and specialists in their fields. So anyway, again, a notebook for a trip to just know, you know, have an outline of what you did. I try to write in things that were important to remember that I'll be sharing as I scrapbook. Some really great stories. But anyway, I hope this is helpful. Again, I can't take credit for this. This is Lauren Hines, my upline, and Nicole So. Nicole So uses more of like a notebook paper grid, and each line is like a page for her. This one, I'm just kind of breaking it down a little differently. And then I showed you this way, which is similar to what Lauren does. I'm just using graph paper, and she has a whole setup that you can print out, so it's whatever you want to do. But again, I think it's useful to help with knowing where you're going with your album and what pages, and you could put so much more information in here other than dates and just a title of what you did. You can put in how many pictures you have for that layout, and then you can adjust it all. Anyway, I hope that's helpful. I find it to be a helpful tool, so I hope it's helpful for you too. Anyway, that is this is just a rough outline of where it's going. Next week, I will be doing the title page, and I wanted to remind you again of what I'm going to be using. Oops, sorry if I'm shaking everything. I have to see if I need more paper. I did find some pages, but I'm going to need to order pages. I'm going to order 3 packs of pages. But these are the colors that go with the Deeper in the Woods collection. So it's the hot fudge, this is avocado, and then beige. But the collection, that's why I have to see what I have. The collection uses beige, hot fudge, parakeet shimmer. Those shimmer papers are beautiful, and they'd be great for border punches. They would also be great for titles that you cut. So avocado and dark green, and I can't remember how much I have of each, so I might need to do some of that. I've already ordered my custom title for the album. I have that, and I can actually show that to you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the glare. This is the same green as the album, but see how it says Colorado in silver? And then 2025 down here, you can, there it is. You can do that at the Crib Memories website. So I'm using Deeper in the Woods. I'm not going to be using this collection like I thought. Definitely for Boulder. I might be able to use some of it for some of the downtown pictures. But I'm going to be pulling from my stash older pages for some of the museums, possibly, but also for the very colorful botanical gardens and the very colorful art district with all of the graffiti on the buildings. So I will be pulling from my stash. Anyway, I will be showing you how I'm going to use Deeper in the Woods. I do have a video of the unboxing of this collection. It's a beautiful collection. So I am going to be using that. I'm also pulling from my stash from other travel albums. So I still have in here 2 older travel collections, and I had the names of them and it just slipped my mind. But anyway, I have those in here. One of them might actually be Deep in the Woods, but there's also, oh, Leave Nothing Behind. Yes, there we go. It's good to save those front pages from the collections that have the pictures of all the papers in them. So Leave Nothing Behind, as well as there's some other stuff mixed in there. So I'll probably be using some of that, trying to use some of that up. I still have some Copper Canyon. I might be trying to use some of that up. We'll see. And this is the album. I showed this to you in the unboxing. This is going to be the Colorado trip in Wyoming album. So that is where I am headed coming up. So starting next week, this is kind of how I want things to look going forward, because I'm not going to, you know, I'll still share albums, but I don't want to just do album flip throughs and, you know, page shares. You'll see that, and I will still incorporate that. And let me know in the comments below if you'd like me to walk through older albums or older trip albums that I've done. You know, comment below on trips that you've done and collections you've used. And if you don't use Creative Memories, tell me what you use. But anyway, so my plans going forward will be to scrapbook most, if not all, of this trip as videos for you all to see how I'm using that Deeper in the Woods collection, and also pulling from my stash. And then I am behind already on trying to stay current. And I did a refresh of the Noteworthy collection. I unboxed that and talked about how I'm using it and shared. I did a layout share of that. My plan is to, if life allows me to do this, is to print my photos off once a month for the month, and then do my Noteworthy layout. So that will probably be one of our videos. That's my hope, once a month to do Noteworthy and stay current. And then also I'm trying to get 2024 caught up, so I will be using other things. I don't think I'm going to use Noteworthy for that. I might actually use a lot of my tonal collections that Creative Memories has done in the past to use those up. Really want to get my stash used so that I can purchase new stuff. It can become overwhelming. Creative Memories does a great job of releasing so much new product, but if I haven't used the old stuff up, I don't feel right buying the new stuff. So I want to be able to make room for new things. Anyway, that is where I'm headed. I hope you're excited about seeing what I'm going to do, and I'll be loading those up each week. My goal is Thursdays to load the videos, and to be regular about that, to get this channel going. So please like and subscribe. I'd love you to be along on this journey with me, and I'll look forward to chatting with you in the comments section. But thank you for watching, and have a great day.